Good afternoon. Welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby. And before I jump into the topic, let me introduce myself for those of you who might not have ever seen me before. I've done 271 of these and now 272. So before I get into that, my name is Barry Selby. I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. And I'm a passionate champion for the divine feminine. And these talks I do every day are called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. And yes, these are daily. And today's at number 272. They keep coming. And this one was inspired by a conversation with a couple of clients today, which yesterday was inspired by clients. So I guess that's now becoming a theme where my clients give me great content to share with you to save you time and trouble. And today's topic is, ladies, this is how not to get a man. Or this is not how to get a man. You know what I mean. So I'm going to break into this one because let me lay down a story first, and then I'll get to the behavior that's not functional, and then show you how to change it to get what you want. Deal? I hope so. So let me take you a little history lesson. Way back when, in the 1960s, I think it was, yeah, about 70 years ago, I think it happened in the United States and in England and other places too, known as the sexual revolution. Women's liberation, what was it called? Feminist movement. There was a bunch of different names for it. At the core of it was the opportunity for women to break out of the shell they'd been in for a long time. And that shell, in case you didn't know, before the 60s, for most women was, they didn't have much of a life of their own independence. If you're watching this, your parents probably, your mother perhaps, or grandmother, may have had this experience where she basically lived at home with her parents until she got married. She didn't have her own bank account, she didn't have her own car at that point, she might have later in life, but as a teen, early 20-year-old, she basically was the daughter at the house until she became the wife of the husband. I mean, there was a courtship in between, obviously. It wasn't like, okay, so knock on the door, take her away, going to marry her. Not quite like that. But the framework was very simple, because at that time women didn't have bank accounts. Now, if you're thinking this is like how strange this is, well, you only go back 1 century and women didn't have the right to vote, roughly. It's about a century ago, give or take. So, 60 years, this is quite a change in 60 years, where you are now. Ladies, I'm sure you understand, it's different now than it used to be. So, let me bring it forward slightly. So, 1965, 66, somewhere around there, the sexual revolution happened. The women explored their own freedom, and basically it was a lot of change was happening. And out of it, what happened really predominantly was women basically got their freedom, in the sense of women didn't have to stay at home until they got married. They actually got to find their way into the workforce in greater numbers, and in particular got their own independence. They got the license to drive, they got their own bank accounts, they got their own place to live, so they didn't need a man. Because for a lot of women, that was the only way they could get what they wanted, was getting a man. Suddenly, women didn't need that anymore. So, this is late 60s going on. So this is more in the 70s where it's really happened in a big way. And the late 60s and on to now. Women have, in a lot of ways, become a lot like men, being able to carve their own way through the world, drive their own cars, have their own freedoms to do what they want, have their own bank accounts, their own expenditures, travel alone, do what they want. It was a lot of change that was happening for women in the last 50 so years. What's it got to do with dating, you ask? I can hear it, I can feel it through the screen. During this time, because women didn't need men anymore the way they did before to get out of the house, because that was kind of what happened back in the 40s and 50s and before, women started taking charge of their dating life. And some of you know this because you did this. So you would actually step out in the world as a woman and take charge of your own relationships. You'd actually go out and date and meet men and approach and do all these different things, because it was a newfound freedom. It was an extension, really, what happened from the sexual revolution of the 60s. Women didn't need to wait for a man to take them out. And so they just went full charge out in the world, for many women, maybe not you, but many women did, to claim their space in the world, which is wonderful. And the outgrowth of that, for a lot of women, was they became very bullish, that's one way of putting it, being very in charge, owning the space, being independent, and basically a lot of women basically took men to bed. First the other way around, which has been the way before. And I'm using that as a catch-all for dating, romance, sex, and more. Women instigated. And I was on the receiving end of some of that myself. So I do know it happened. Witness. In fact, it happened, I actually got the experience when I was in Germany even. So it wasn't just in America. This happened in a lot of places. Sorry, fond memory. I need to come back to present. Let's stay here, shall we? So, bringing this topic to point. Now, what's happening, at least in the last few years, since the advent of dating sites online, which has been maybe 10 years at most, maybe a little longer. Certainly the dating apps are no more than 10 years old because there were no smartphones more than 10 years ago, really. 2007 was when the iPhone came out. So, in the last few years, the smorgasbord of choice has been presented to both genders, men and women. And women, being through that independent gangway, changing into what they are, what you've become now in terms of your freedoms and ownership, use the apps like the men do. And for a long time in the microcosm of the last 4 or 5 years, in a short time, women have been using the apps the same way men have. Swiping, scanning, clicking on someone, liking them, reaching out to them, saying hi, etc., etc. All this is fine, except, and this is where I'm going to get to the whole point of this topic. For many ladies, for many women, you have forgotten how to be a woman when it comes to romance. Yes, you have. Because your desire to make things happen, to pursue, to seek out, basically abdicates the role of the man. I talked about men. I talked about the application of men last week, the week before, and this speaks into that in a way because we as men, I include myself, got lazy. Well, let's put it this way: we men are lazy anyway. We like to just do something and be done. We don't spend a lot of time on it. It's kind of the natural way that men work. We're great at one thing or focus, get it done, relax. That's kind of the ultimate goal. I let you on a big secret, by the way. That was a really, really big secret I gave you right there. But it means that when we're dating, if we don't have to do anything, if you as a woman reach out to us and pursue us and chase us and all that sort of stuff, for many men it's kind of like, bring it on. I can be lazy. Sure, you can take me out for dinner and take me to bed and all that stuff because it was convenient for us men. And for a lot of men, we abdicated our role. And it's not all. By the way, I'm being clear, this is some, not all. So if you don't have the same experience, please don't go, this is not true. It's like, well, it may not be true for you. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. This is what I've witnessed amongst men I know, amongst women I know, clients, and my own experience personally. So, this is the way that doesn't work, is when you do the work, ladies, to chase the man. Because it puts you into the masculine mindset. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to give you a quick Cliff Notes version. The divine masculine, divine feminine inhabit generally the male and female genders. This is a general description because there are men who are naturally more divine feminine, there are women who are more naturally divine masculine, and then people who are gay persuasion have the different polarities in the same gender. Because gay male couples, gay female couples have the masculine and feminine polarity as well, which creates the chemistry. It's part of that wonderful thing that creates sex that works. So it doesn't really matter on the gender, much as it does on the polarity. I'm leaving it there. Sorry, I had some other thoughts. I'm going to leave on that one right there. So, the masculine energy, in whichever physical body it's in, is the pursuer, is the hunter, the chaser. Single focus, get the goal, victory, won, sit back and relax. That was like maybe a 1-year journey into 30 seconds. The feminine energetic, the divine feminine, is receptive and attractive, as in attracts what it wants, what it needs. And it also has the ability to watch many things at once. So there's a lot of this diffuse awareness, as Alison Armstrong calls it, around to see what's going on. And to keep a wary eye out. We masculine men tend to be really good at single focus. We don't necessarily know what's happening just over there. Whereas the feminine knows about all the things happening around because it's one of the skills. That's why they're great with kids, because they can see Tommy over there and Jill over there and Jane over there, and that's one of the gifts that mothers have, is that ability to see at the back of their head. At least that was my mother's experience. That was my experience with my mother. She had eyes in the back of her head, even though she pretended she didn't. I keep lingering on these thoughts for a second, so let me get back on this topic. So, the divine masculine pursues, hunts, seeks out. The divine feminine attracts, receives, and enjoys what comes toward it, and also has a very wide-angle view of the world. When a woman moves into her masculine, she brings her focus into singular and pursues. And she can be really good at that. The challenge is, though, her intuition, her senses about men in the dating arena get subdued and get confined. I need to go into this a little bit. It just hit me. Ladies, when you go out and pursue men, your intuition goes on vacation. Because intuition is a feminine skill, which we have as men as well, because we both, let me say this all, by the way, sidebar. Come over here a second. Men and women both have masculine and feminine nature within us. We just have a leaning towards one side or the other more often than not. So we can refine either one. So men can have intuition just as much as women can, just that women generally have it more naturally because it's a feminine skill, which more women have naturally than men do, in predominance. I think I explained that one clearly. So, ladies, when you become the masculine to pursue a man, to chase him in a relationship, or go on Tinder or Match or wherever you go to meet him, your focus of your intuition, sensitivity to tell what's happening, because you have an immensely powerful radar, ladies, you do. The intuition skill you have inside, it will let you know right away if something's out of alignment. But when you're a masculine, you turn that off, because a masculine doesn't use intuition necessarily. That was and a half of me. I'm just sitting with that. If there's any pieces to that I want to give you. That I think was clear. So not only are you abdicating the man's role, because he's not being in the leadership, taking charge, directing and moving things forward, which is what a man would be in his masculine, and you love that if you're in your feminine, then you're also not being clear if that man's actually good for you. Especially if you go on Tinder or on a website where it's just pictures and not much else, you tend to be maybe bowled over by the way somebody looks and have no awareness of the other stuff that you should be aware of as a feminine woman. That's what a lot of women I know have been challenged by the narcissistic experience. I was talking about that Friday or Saturday. It talks about that, and you might be dating a narcissist if. I invite you to check that one out if you had that experience, because it was pretty revealing. So bring this back up to date. So doing it that way doesn't work, as I've said. So ladies, your best way of being available to a relationship is to be the magnetic attractor that is your powerhouse skill. When you ladies choose your feminine way of attracting, first of all, you will draw to you different experiences, and if you know what your vision is, then you actually draw to you exactly what you're looking for, because the challenge is being a magnet. If you don't have clarity on what you really want, you're going to attract everything. And if you're on Tinder, for example, you're going to attract a whole smorgasbord of men. If, however, you refine your focus of what you're focusing on to attract, like a magnifying glass, you can focus on exactly what you're looking for, then you will only see and only attract what you really want. Now, other men may seek you out, but you won't feel it or won't care about it or won't even want it. You'll just ignore it. But the focus point will be clear. In the program I created called Attract the Man You Want, I'm realizing more and more how these steps fit together. I'm actually grateful I wrote it a while back, but I'm now seeing how it actually does make sense. That's a relief. But in your life, if you're choosing to do this, having clarity of your vision of what you want to have, intention, setup, clarity of vision, all these different things that really hone your desires and what you want. Not that you go pursue it like a masculine, but you then become a laser-focused, I'm going to say this, I'm going to use a better visual because that doesn't look good. But like a laser-focused magnet to bring in, still can't, excuse my hand signals, they're looking pretty crude right now. I'm just looking at what I'm presenting. Masculine energy pursues, feminine energy receives. So reception, let's put it that way. Okay. Had to use better hand signals. So the feminine energy isn't just scattershot bringing everything, it becomes really focused and pulls in one thing. And it's that clarity that allows you to attract an amazing relationship. P.S. One extra thing, because it's part of my program. Not only is it good for you to have clarity of your vision, but to really make it to tie it to your intuition and to your magnetic attraction, is you want to walk through the steps of how it feels to be in that relationship. Take a vacation in your imagination to a 1 year down the road in your relationship, where you wake up together in this great vacation spot, or you want to work together, or you're having a weekend away together, whatever that is. Imagine that experience for yourself and feel into it. The more you can create that reality of yourself, the more you can create a really honed vision and intention of what you want to attract. And that, ladies, is how you attract the right man. This is kind of a prelude or a subtle preview on my program. So I'm letting those people. I'm actually sharing this because some of the women who've been reaching out to me recently want to know more about my program, and this kind of explains it. So I'm actually going to say this to them. So if you're watching this, you want to know about my program, send me a message over social media. I'm not going to promote it here. I'm not going to market it here because this is public stuff that's going to go in different groups, and I don't want to actually market physically through that. But take these steps to heart. You can do this on your own. You don't need my program for it. Not necessarily. But let the men do the hunt. Let the man come to you. Become the magnet, the focus, the attractive energy with your intuition plugged in, so you can then discern and be clear on what the energy of what you want to attract. And so when it doesn't show up the way you want it to, you can simply walk away from it. By doing so, you become a clear channel to attract what you want, and you don't settle for less than the best. And you know, when I give my messages out every day, if you're watching my broadcast, I'm always inviting you to honor yourself so you do get the best that you deserve. Having said that, I think that's a good point to end on. If you haven't watched my broadcast before, I do have these on my website, which is barryselby.com. You click on the video blog to watch them there, although I will be moving them shortly to another setup on my website. But go to barryselby.com and check out all my stuff, including my program. If you want to watch it on Facebook, it's on my business page, is where you'll easily find them because there's nothing else posted there except these videos, which is barryselby.author. And also, if you want to watch them on YouTube, because you're maybe not a Facebook user, there are a few out there. You go to my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby is the user, and Message from the Masculine is the playlist. With that, I appreciate you watching. Please share this with somebody who needs to watch this, because I'm sure there's people out there who you could think of that would go, they would benefit from seeing this. And if you have any questions, please put them below. Any thoughts, please share that with me as well. And if you want help in the area of love and relationships, if you're a woman who's stuck, please reach out to me. I'm here to help you. You can message me over social media or go to my website and click on the Let's Chat button. Then we can talk. And with that, I invite you to take care of yourself. Once again, as always, put yourself first in your life, in your heart. Care about who you are. You deserve the best, and until you really honor yourself, you may not get it. Let me say it another way. Care about yourself, honor yourself, and respect yourself so you can get the best. There we go. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care of yourselves.